In a nutshell, the story of the Pirates Who Don't Do Anything, the movie, it's about three fake pirates, three guys that long to be heroes but have no idea how. And suddenly they get called into a real adventure to become real heroes. And it's by someone completely outside of their control who recognizes that, yes, they can be heroes. A lot of people will look at it and say, well, wait a minute, the last movie was Jonah. That's a Bible story. Which Bible story is this? And it's very clear when you get into it, it's not a Bible story at all. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have a message. It doesn't mean it doesn't have something to teach. We're telling a story, it's almost a parable. You know, if you're a Christian, you have a call to do something with your life. You have, the Apostle Paul summed it up like this: we have been created for good works. You know, we have been created to do something, and to do something that benefits others. So the real message of the story is that God has an adventure for you where you play the role of a hero. And all you have to do is respond and go do it, and he will give you what you need to do that. And for a Christian, that's our view of God. That when he calls us to do something, you know, when he called Jonah to head to Nineveh, when he called Moses, you know, and Moses was the one who said, I can't go talk to Pharaoh, I have a speech impediment. I mean, he lisped or something, he stuttered. He had some sort of trouble with public speaking. And God says, I'll take care of that. When you get there, I'll take care of that. And it's just, we forget because we look at our own limitations. We look at our own flaws. I can never do anything big because here's why. And what God is saying is, no, you can do anything big that I call you to because of me, not because of you. That's the whole point. A hero is the one who responds to God's call and trusts that God will give him what he needs. And I think we need that perspective to look back in our lives when you've lived a little bit, you know. And if you're walking with God, if you're trying to respond to what the Bible says, if you're trying to do the right thing, where you look back at your life and you realize that, wow, I never could have done that by myself, but look what happened there. You know, I'm not alone here. You know, this isn't just about me. There's somebody else who is helping me. Suddenly, you know, it's not just about my strength anymore. And that's really the message of the film. It's not just about you. You've been called into something bigger, and the person who called you loves you, is infinitely strong, and will give you whatever you need to accomplish what he's asked you to accomplish.
We gotta row through before it closes.
I don't think that's possible, and that's coming from a guy who just swam 92 nautical miles without arms or legs.
What keeps them back from going further is sort of their own personal issues. Larry is afraid of everything. You know, he can't do certain things because they're on his list. Mr. Lunt doesn't, he's just like a pirate who doesn't want to do anything. He just doesn't want to do anything. And then Paul Grape plays a character who doesn't really have a backbone. Probably everybody's got a little bit of all of that in them, and it's just really neat to see it sort of personified in vegetables.
I mean, it's pretty obvious if you're looking at the message that God calls us into adventure and equips us for whatever he calls us to. The king represents God.
He's a wonderful king, wise, brave, but he always finds time for me, his little Eloise.
Oh, that's great. I'd figure a king would be kind of busy most of the time.
Oh, but he's much more than just an ordinary king.
We have a really nice scene with the king on board as he's handing out medals, you know, to them after they've you know, completed their task, and it's just a really touching scene with the king, basically affirming that he's always there. You know, he's there to provide what they need, and so I think for a Christian it's a really neat representation of how God is with us.
The help seeker picked exactly whom I intended. And I made sure you had everything you needed to complete the task. The crab that showed you the way. The lever that saved your friends. The donkey from above. The adventure I call you to may not be easy, but you'll never journey alone.
It means a lot more to you than you think it will, coming from vegetables. The king has created a little device called a help seeker that will go and get you the help that you need.
We need help. Alexander has been taken. The situation is dire. Please bring back... Let me see. What do we need?
The army! The navy!
Heroes. We need heroes that can save Alexander.
It's a device, you know, that kind of represents just our ability as Christians to call out to God. You know, it's, I need help. And to know that he hears us. And this was the device that the king left behind to play that role. By the end, they realize that there's more than one of these things, and this will be a pattern. You know, and that's really, we didn't want to say at the end, so you'll have an adventure, and then it'll be done, and then you can retire. It's like, no, life is a series of adventures. You know, and God will call you onto a sequence of things. And once one is done, don't go to sleep, because another help seeker is going to show up and say, ooh, we need you over here.